The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
This morning and welcome back to Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, your station for fresh news, smart talk all day. Welcome back to On the Clock with Erin Greene. Now let me see if I can get this day right. On this Good Friday, the 8th of October, 2021. On the Clock, we engage organizations, institutions, social and cultural leaders, and ordinary people to better understand the impact of public policy, private sector development, and emerging social and consumer trends. On the Clock, we have conversations that help us understand and navigate a rapidly changing Bahamas. If you ask me why I'm talking so fast, I practicing, because today is Culture Friday. And on Culture Fridays, we got to do nothing but highlight Bahamian culture. And guess what? Monday, we are celebrating, recognizing National Heroes Day. It's, I think, technically supposed to fall on the Tuesday, but we celebrate it on the Monday. And I realize that it doesn't seem as if we're doing anything for National Heroes Day, but celebrating politicians. So we're going to change that paradigm, and we're going to have our own celebration. My guest today, my first guest is Mr. Arnold Rapp Wilson. And Mr. Arnold Rapp Wilson is an archivist. And he just put in my hand a picture of Ezra Hepburn, right? Ezra Hepburn of Ezra and the Earth Movers. And he left for Hong Kong at this time to participate in a kung fu movie. Wow. I should have had you here when I was doing my show with the gentleman that produced and starred in Knockin' the Kong Style. Is that a picture of you or is that a picture of my family member? Listen, and this gentleman has just put into my hand a picture. First of all, I don't believe you, Mr. Wilson, that Adrian Diagula in this picture, I just don't believe you. It is 1979, Wednesday, March the 22nd, and Altitude, one of the youngest groups around, both in formation and age, proudly displays their recent achievement, a Timothy Award, being recognized as the top non-recording group. The group consists of Andrew Turnquest, Doyle McKinney, Michael Rogers, Adrian Diagula, and Gareth Lewis. And not pictured is the lead vocalist, Martin Fox. The group gained popularity among the teenage crowd. And the picture I'm looking at is that it was taken at the end of a performance for Prince William students. Wow. Wow. Say good morning to the crowd, Mr. Wilson. I know you're going through your archive.
Good morning. And thank you for inviting me to your show, because I really wanted to enlighten a whole lot of listeners to some of the things you mentioned last week, some of the names of the artists.
Yeah.
But I have a lot more than those few names,
yeah.
Right?
And if you don't know, Adrian Diagula he plays the trumpet, right? Or is it the
bass?
The bass.
Bass.
Right. I thought he was a horn player.
Well, I'm saying him.
Yeah, playing the bass. You're right. You're right. Absolutely. Well, listen, let me get the show started. Good morning to my listeners. This is what we have in store today. So this is the premise of the show. Monday is National Heroes Day, and I don't see anybody doing anything about it. And when that happens, we don't get mad. We don't complain. When we see something needs to be done, we do it ourselves. And like Mr. Wilson said, he heard the show last week, and decided that he got to be a part of the show. And I appreciate that because he has the information, the history to add to my excitement, right? All I brought was excitement about what I'd learned. But Mr. Wilson has some data, some information, some stories to share with us today. Now, I put together a playlist for today, but before I start my first song on the playlist, and I get to this caller, good morning, caller, you're on the clock.
Good morning, Miss Greene.
Good morning, Sparky, how you do?
And I tell you something, you want to talk about history. Hello, Rap.
Hey, how you doing, Vincent?
Hello, Rap. Let Miss Greene listen to this again. Hello, Rap.
He said, tell him good morning again.
Good morning. Hello, Vincent. How you doing, sir? How you doing, sir?
What did you say, Vincent?
Listen, man. How long I've known you? How long I've known you?
I wanted her to see she called me Sparky.
Okay, Sparky.
You call me Vincent.
No, I just wanted to let the listeners know how long I've known you. I just didn't get to know you through your radio
presence.
That is modern radio. Junkanoo, the Raleigh boys. That young man, I would say that young man, grew up through 10th Street West. Gus Cooper grew up through 10th Street East. That young man's home on the board where he grew up is 2 houses east of Central Animal Clinic, where Sandy Sands, Mr. Basil Sands, the Ann Sands, the Isaacs families, and all of those came from. And now we have the Centerville Animal Clinic. He has 2 brothers, Sammy and Eddie. I think Eddie still lives there. I think Sammy has passed away. We grew up in the valley where we had 2 pairs of shoes. One to go to church with, one to go to school with. When you come home, you take off your shoes, and you walk around in the sand and take barefoot.
All right. Thank you.
Shoot marbles,
Thank you, Sparky.
We did everything together.
Look, yes, thank you, Sparky. Would you come too early? How you know I get one song just about that? I only had 2 pairs of shoes. Had to come home and take the shoes off and walk. I got a song about that, Sparky. But anyway, Arlington, let's get the show rolling. Play that first song for me. I can tell you, oh my, wow, this gentleman is just handing me things I got to read. So we'll start the show with this first song. Now I know y'all know, because I told you, my favorite song in the world is Get Involved, Get Involved. From as a child, right? And I thought this is a perfect song to play to lead us into National Heroes Day. And then yesterday, here I was, a big grown woman talking to my neighbor to find out that my neighbor, who is now 65 years old, when he was in first form, he wrote the poem that inspired the song Get Involved, Get Involved. And the poem that he wrote was called You Don't Be No Cool Fool, Stay in School. Right? And I know this guy all my life. He inspired me to be a volunteer and to volunteer and coach soccer and to be a good community member. And he is the one who wrote this song. I just have to make the note that he tells me that the poem that he wrote was inspired by a DJ named Charlie Badcock, who used to call himself a cool fool. And a business owner in the community, every time he called himself a cool fool, I'd look at him and tell him, no boss, you's a damn fool. And that inspired my neighbor to write this poem for his classmates about the importance of staying in school and getting an education. So I just had to share that with you all this morning. As close as I was to the origin of the song. What a beautiful world we live in. Arlington, let's play the second track now. Now the remake. Now, did you all know there is a remake of the classic Get Involved, right? Led by KB, featuring Therese Hepburn, Ronnie Butler, MDs, Funky D, Veronica Bishop, Wilfred Solomon, Ira Storr, Papa Smythe, Dyson Knight, Rick Carey, Junior Prodigy, Lady E Lady E and the Spank Band. Listen, and Colin McDonald. And it was actually commissioned by the Minister of Culture, right? For a government initiative. But I think this may be our song for National Heroes Day, so I can't play the whole song. But I beg you, you can't let this weekend pass without looking for the remake of Get Involved, led by KB and featuring the Bahamian greats and Bahamians of all genres and generations in this song. Remember, it got the one and only MDs in it too. Anyway, thank you, Arlington. Because we don't even get to the reggae and the hip hop fusion and the calypso fusion. Anyway, that song is by Dr. Off. And would you believe Mr. Wilson has clippings of Dr. Off, several of them. I'm just read this. I'm looking at a picture of Dr. Off and his band as they rush through the Hilton Hotel in New Orleans, carrying the frenzied audience with them at the Black Music Association of America's 4th annual conference in 1982. And Dr. Off has written other hits like Junkanoo, Rat Bat, Goombay Summer, and Do More in 84. Wow. Now, Mr. Wilson, you have any stories about Dr. Off for us? That one right there, hey? Wow. Wow. Listen, okay, I got another story here. I'm going to pull it up right now. Nathaniel Sanders and the Bimini Knights, a Victory World documentary. What a beautiful album. I had never heard of Nathaniel Sanders and the Bimini Knights. Thank you very, very much. Ezra Hepburn and the Polka Dots fame. So listen, Ezra Hepburn was a musician and a martial artist?
Martial artist, I understood, was just one of his pastime. It was his...
Right, but good enough to perform at a world-class stage.
Yeah, well, he was invited to... Yeah, to perform.
Awesome.
But he really was known for the banana boat.
Yeah, right. Absolutely. Now look here, just for a minute, tell the people about the banana boat. Because the young people, if they see the smile on your face when you said banana boat, that's like when we used to say Waterloo and Nights and... Right, and Nights and Dreams.
Well, the same type of followers Waterloo had,
yeah,
Banana Boat had.
Right.
From in the 60s, 70s. I could only give an account from the late 60s and the 70s when it closed.
So tell us what a night at the Banana Boat would be like, man.
Okay, anyone probably around like the Waterloo, whatever type of fun and that you will enjoy
dancing
there.
Okay.
That's exactly it. It was a different grouping then.
When I was going to the club, right, we would dance, but it's not like we were necessarily dancing, men and women dancing with each other. Everybody just be on the dance floor dancing. What was the dance scene like back then? Like if you were a man, did you need to know the dances?
You will need to know.
The dances.
Exactly. And the space was not as big as the Waterloo.
Right.
So that could give you an idea how close everybody was.
So how you learn to dance? Like how on a Saturday night, you go into the club, you hear a new song, you know there's a new dance. How you learn to dance?
By the most followers,
yeah.
They have some right now. I think they have a reunion. I don't know if they continue having it, but they used to have a reunion every year since the place closed. That's at least for over 50 years.
You know what, the Banana Boat reunion, right?
And they were the regulars. So they were the regulars that you will see, and then you will learn a lot of dance move from them.
Now,
because they're like there every Friday and Saturday.
Right. But look at y'all old heads having a ball without us. I bet y'all used to put a little gin in our milk and put us to bed and then head out on the road. Arlington, let's play another song. Let's play, you play something for me and I can tell them what it is. All right, it's number 3. So last week I get a big pinch from one of my audience members because I did get Miss Priscilla Rollins' name wrong. And I apologize for that. This is a song called "Oh Bear Woman" by Priscilla Rollins. And when I heard it, I was just stunned. Because we normally think of Independence Morning is like a baby born in. But listen to this. Crank it up a little bit, Arlington.
I'm the Obia woman. I felt the pain. I can eat the thunder and drink the rain. I feel the feeling. It's coming through. And there ain't nothing that I can't do. Hey, yeah. Oh, yeah. Obia woman.
All right, Arlington. Now listen, now that you have heard "Oh Bear Woman" by Priscilla Rollins, first of all, we ain't gonna make fun of Independence Morning is like a baby born in anymore, right? Because first of all, the message in that song is extremely important. It's so valuable. Because what it says is that every Independence Morning, we have the opportunity for rebirth and to redefine who we want to be and to look back at the mistakes we may have made, right? And the journey that we've just completed. And we could refresh ourselves and recover from the mistakes and chart a new course. This is a beautiful song. But this is a real Bahamian artist. She's a real Obia woman. I'm going to read a small excerpt from an article from 2005, written in The Guardian about Priscilla Rollins. She's back, and she's back with a big splash. Bahamian entertainer Priscilla Rollins, whose fame and stardom goes back to the 60s, has brought back a collection of her greatest songs on the re-release recently of her 5 CDs. Hit songs like Letter to Miami, Legend in My Time, and Independence Morning are all songs in these collections. And I'm going to read again. Rollins, who had at one point in her musical career taken a break from the stage, says she's ready to perform again. I had a stint in my life when I became a Christian, and then I started to sing again. She admits, I just thought it was time again for me to step out and get myself back into entertainment. Well, don't you stop. You keep singing, ma'am. You keep singing. You use the Obia woman. At this time, I just thought we only had one Obia man. We got an Obia woman too. What a beautiful track. Arlington, I see you got a caller on the line, and then let's pull up that song by Tony Seymour next. Good morning, caller. You're on the clock.
Good morning, Erin.
Good morning. How you doing?
You know, write the most beautiful song, Independence Morning.
Who wrote it?
Let me give you I should have asked the homework, but I tell you, Tony McKay.
That's who I thought was in it with her, the vocals.
I don't know if he's in the vocal, but I know he wrote the song.
But you hear at the very beginning, you hear that guttural. I figured that was Tony McKay. Yeah, great.
Yeah, but okay. But you also got to commend Morning Redis. Because Funky Nassau.
Oh yeah.
It became a global hit. You remember the T Connection?
Oh yeah.
And you remember Soulful Groovers?
Yep. But we played Soulful Groovers last week.
You remember American Bandstand? You remember? Your mother remember that. American Bandstand.
Yeah, I know American Bandstand.
And Soul Train.
They
were the first Bahamians on Soul Train, American Bandstand.
T Connection.
That's right.
Now listen, and T Connection, while T Connection is typically a younger group that I like considering for this first round of nominations, right? We gotta recognize T Connection because of their influence on American music.
But Erin, me close with this because you said I'm correct.
Yeah.
As we, you need to lead the way with this. As we celebrate our 50th year, you need to. I believe it's going to be a cultural
extravaganza. Yeah.
To put forward our independence, you need to put these forward, Erin, because when we are celebrating 50 years, our generation is 50. I am 10 years older than my generation. So I've experienced 2 citizenships.
Well, listen, you're right. You're
so
right.
Erin, get on it, man. Get on it.
No, and look here.
You and your guest, get on it. Let's get involved, get involved.
Well, listen, if
Don't be no fool, stay in school, Erin.
if Mr. Wilson isn't a part of the formal activities, then we the people gonna have to just create our own auxiliary, right? Our side events.
Hey, I am in the back. But he got to be a part. I'm in the back. I really started.
All right. Thank you much.
So what you going to do with it?
I pushing it forward.
Oh, amen.
I gonna find me some
Amen.
DJs so we could collect the song, and I can connect with UB so we could make sure that we have an archive of music at
And I
UB.
want me you sit together on the grounds of independence.
Okay. All right. We'll do.
Today.
Absolutely. Call, I coming to you right now because Mr. Wilson has put this in my hand. T Connections to Give Independence concert. The last time they were here was January 30th, 1977. And now after 18
If
months
you'd like to make a call,
of touring the USA and establishing a name for themselves, the boys are coming home on the occasion of the Bahamas' 5th independence. Wow. It was November 1975 when Tom Malis took the Magic Boys away from the Out Island Bar at the Nassau Beach Hotel to his own club in Freeport, the Kiki Rouge. Before they left, they were recognized as one of the most progressive groups. And look here, when they call them the boys in this picture, all of them look like they're 17 and just out of high school. Okay, let's play Pretty Blue Eyes, Arlington. Caller, can you hold for me? Now, this is a song by Tony Seymour. I didn't realize how many people... Oh, is this Tony Seymour? How many people love this track?
I was a lonely boy until you moved in and so pretty blue eyes. I love you, pretty blue eyes. All the guys in the neighborhood say, darling, that you sure look good, oh pretty blue eyes. I love you, pretty blue eyes. Pretty blue eyes, please come out tonight so I can tell you, baby, what I have to say, that I love you, pretty blue eyes. I saw you from my window, my heart seems to be posted by your doorstep, so that I can win your love, pretty blue eyes. Please come out tonight so I can tell you, baby.
Wow. What a beautiful song. Let me tell you what I like about this song and all the iterations of it that I've heard. It's how Bahamians take other people's song and make it so Bahamian. And find it, like they find a perfect match, the grooves where that Bahamian sound fits right in with the original. And they just make it better. It's just unbelievable. Oh, wow. So that was Tony Seymour, Pretty Blue Eyes. I got a caller on the line. Caller, you are on the clock.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
That's Mr. Wilson in there.
Yes, sir.
And good morning to Mr. Wilson also. That one, Pretty Blue Eyes, you saying someone else write that and Tony sing it?
I think so, right?
Okay, Tony get a son too who sing, right?
Well, tell me. You tell me.
I mean, over the years, listening to Morning Bird with Charles Carter them and stuff, and Eddie Carter them, I thought Tony Seymour might have a son who would sing too. But the song Get a Letter, you might not have time today, but maybe next week. We got to hear that. The Michael Rogers, is that the son of Reverend L.W. Rogers?
Michael, okay, we can find that out. And if somebody knows the
I
answer...
thought Mr. Wilson will know. He's the one who showed you the
Wilson,
pictures, right?
Put on your...
Michael
What's the
Rogers. Good morning, Mr. Seymour. I'm sorry, Mr. Wilson.
Repeat the question for him.
All right, the question is Michael Rogers, I think that's the name you pronounced, the pictures you were seeing from back in the days, is that the son of Reverend L.W. Rogers?
Well, Michael Rogers, this is the he's a performer. He's a keyboard player. If this is the Rogers you're speaking about,
from the Bahamas?
From the Bahamas.
Straight into the...
Was his father Reverend L.W. Rogers?
I don't know that, but
I met Michael before. He's really older than me. I born in 70, and I wouldn't be surprised because listening to you, Mr. Wilson, you got to come on again. You got to come on again and...
If I'm invited, I will.
Yeah, and bring us up to the history. You all keep up the good work. Get a letter.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Keep up the good work.
Putting Get a Letter on the list. But tell me, who performs your favorite version, your most favorite version of Get a Letter? And so, let me say this. One of the reasons why this show, I think, is important is I want older Bahamians to understand that young Bahamians are not rejecting Bahamian culture. Young Bahamians don't have access to Bahamian culture. We don't have access to the real parts, to the lives, to the stories, to the documentation. Those are the things that connect people to culture, right? To the music. So you could hear somebody call in and say, no, that ain't what his real name is. That's what they used to call him over there. But this is what his real name is. Or do you know how so-and-so got that name? These are the stories that cause people, and young people in particular, to connect to their culture. And it's not like we've rejected it. We just don't know where to find it or where it is. And you could tell me, oh, it's in a book somewhere, but what's the name of the book? And where are the books stored, right? And how do I access what's in the book? For instance, preparing for this show, the songs that I have are limited compared to the amount of songs and work that was produced, because not all of it is online. Not all of it is held in storage under the name of the performer. You have to figure out who has a record and has made a vinyl rip or has recorded it and put it online. You don't have lists of albums. You don't have discographies that you could go through and look for the names of the songs. So yesterday I tried to find a Bahamian version of It Is Well with My Soul, right? Because ain't nothing can put you to sleep like It Is Well with My Soul, baby. And I couldn't find a video of a performance clear enough to play on air. Now I found a little piece of concert here and piece of concert there, but it's almost impossible for young people to be able to find this information. Anyway, I see I got a caller on the line. Caller, you on the clock. Good morning, caller, you there?
Well, this is time for young people to put it on YouTube. You'll be there forever.
Absolutely. No, it's time for young people to partner up with the old people.
Yes.
And
guys it.
Right.
And Tony Seymour's son, he sung so good. I think Kushner gave him a job singing in Atlantis.
What's his name?
Tony Seymour Jr.
Tony Seymour Jr.
He used to do custom brokerage. But
Okay.
at night time, he sang over in Atlantis.
Okay.
And since it's Cultured Friday, Erin,
Yes.
you realize in history of Parliament, there is a Afro-American wearing natural hair, dreadlock. Do you realize that?
Ooh, yeah. Look
The
here.
first time in history of Parliament, a Afro dread is being worn.
Well, I mean, before then they just used to call it rough and kinky. Like, it,
I know.
it didn't comb out properly, you know? But that is awesome.
But I thought how dreads have come so far. My granddaddy down would freak out.
Boy,
I
look here.
was dizzy.
Blessings. Blessings. Look here. Thank you so much for that here.
Yes. Yeah, right.
Absolutely. Okay. Listen, Arlington, let's go to that next caller. Caller, you're on the clock.
Okay, that's Erin.
Yes, ma'am. Good morning.
I nominate you for a job at the Ministry of Youth and Culture.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Well, I mean, I appreciate what you're saying, but what it is that I don't necessarily need to be in the Ministry of Youth and Culture, you know, for this sort of thing to work. The Ministry of Youth and Culture needs to be able to operate in a way where it can connect and work with people on the outside, civil society, to build programming like this. You know, like maybe they could put together a little sponsorship or thing, and we could make sure that we are regularly infusing local culture, right? That we are regularly penetrating the airwaves with cultural insights and perspectives and discussions to grow an appreciation for culture. All right, Arlington, let's play. You play anything. Play play anything. Oh, wow. The stories about T-Connection, Ezra and the Polka Dots. Wow, Visage. Okay, Mr. Wilson, tell me, who is Nathaniel Piccolo Pete Sanders? That's the same Nathaniel Sanders from the album just now.
Piccolo. This is one gentleman you should have met. You should have met.
Yes.
He lives in Bimini. I met him personally.
Okay.
Right? And he was already probably in his 90s. Mm-hmm. But he is so sharp in his mind.
And he's still alive?
No, he just died
passed?
About 3 years ago,
okay.
I think. But I have something here.
And I have it right there. Arlington, play Bimini Gal by the Presenti Brothers, man. Since we're going down to Bimini with Nathaniel Piccolo Pete. And this is in 2015, accepting the Clemente Maynard Lifetime Achievement Award at the 16th Cacique Award.
Go down to Bimini. Never get a lick until you go down to Bimini. East side east, take it straight to the lighthouse. Never get a lick until you go down to Bimini. Oh, lady, go down to Bimini. Never get a lick until you go down to Bimini. And the king and the queen, they gone fishing into Bimini. Never get a lick until you go down.
All right, Arlington, let's go to play that song. Anyone, Calypso Mama or Crazy Like Mad, or even that song by Swain and the Citations. So that is the Presenti Brothers, Bimini Gal. I play that in honor of Natty Saunders, Nathaniel Piccolo Pete Sanders from Bimini, who, wow, at the age of 91, performed at the Bahamas Heritage Festival. Wow. Like Mr. Wilson said, he passed approximately 3 years ago. But these are the people that should be already inducted in our Bahamian Music and Culture Hall of Fame.
Thought it would lay eggs about 9 or 10. So she made up a nest of some straws and some grass. But it didn't lay nothing but its yes, yes, yes. She bought another rooster. She took it for a duck. Sat it on the table with its 2 legs turned up. In came Sis with a spoon and a glass. She started stirring up the gravy from his yes, yes, yes. Papa, Papa, now you must be getting old. Mama's round the corner selling all your...
Now listen, we gotta go to a break. That is a classic. That make me think of Baby It's Cold Outside classic. When we get back from this break, I'm gonna tell y'all who sang that song. Y'all wouldn't believe it. You would not believe it. Anyway, we get to go to this break. Yes, yes, yes. So stay tuned to Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, your station for fresh news, smart talk, Bahamian music all day. We'll be right back.
Yes, yes, yes. The bullfrog sat on the mountain peak. He dipped his tail in a hot pan of grease. He said, excuse me, folks, but I just gotta pass. Because I'm slipping, sliding, scooting on my yes, yes, yes. Way down yonder.
I've been representing all my life. I'm getting ready to
make it count this time. Since it's 2021 for your family line, you better get ready. It's about that time. So tell mama to be ready. Tell it to the whole family. The rock the top for two. The count depends on you. So tell Ted to go tell below. Mark it down on your calendar. Since it's 2021, this one's for everyone.
Have you heard about the COVID vaccine raffle? If you are vaccinated against COVID-19, you can enter to win amazing prizes like food store gift certificates, hotel stays, beach excursions, and so much more. Even if you are previously vaccinated, you can still enter to win. The COVID vaccine is free, safe, and protects you from severe COVID-19 infections. Don't delay. Get vaccinated today and enter to win. Visit www.paxbahamas.com to register.
The Central Bank of the Bahamas invites students in grades 4 through 12 to compete in the Get Money Smart Bahamas video essay competition. Students must produce a 3 to 5 minute essay sharing their views on the following topic. The Bahamian economy is an ideal model for digital financial services. Get a parent or guardian permission to share the link to your essay with us on social media and have your entry judged for cash prizes in either the primary school division, junior high, or senior high school category. Essay submissions must be received by October 22nd, 2021. For more information, visit GetMoneySmartBahamas.com or see our post on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Like what you're hearing on the show? Want to support the conversation? Sponsor On the Clock today. Call Janet Lees at 302-2304. That's 302-2304. Be the solution. Sponsor On the Clock with Erin Greene, where she dissects, we discuss, and you decide.
I've been representing all my life. I'm getting ready to make it count this time. Since it's 2021 for your family line, you better get ready. It's about that time. So tell mama to be ready. Tell it to the whole family. The rock the top for two. The count depends on you. So tell Ted to go tell below. Mark it down on your calendar. Since it's 2021, this one's for everyone.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
Crazy like mad for you, I'm crazy like mad. Come dance with me, and you will see for you, I'm crazy like mad. Oh, when tourists travel down Bahamas way, they come to hear me sing at Junkanoo Cafe. And when I see somebody rich and gay, I go up to his table and then I say, for you, I'm crazy like mad. For you, I'm crazy like mad. Come down.
All right, that was Irene Williams and Leslie Scott. For you, I'm crazy like mad. All right, I got a couple of texts here I got to read as we get towards the end of the show. First text says, good morning, Miss Greene. This is a great show. You always know what to do when it comes to our culture. You are a true Bahamian. But I tell you, if you highlight the culture will do the rest. The culture will do the rest. Another text, Sweet Tea was Tony's son. So he's saying Tony Seymour Jr. performed under the name Sweet Tea, or Sweet Tea is the name of his son. Okay. Another text says, great show as usual. Today is Cultural Friday. I want to bring up something I wish would stop. I'm not talking about the bad driving and the black people killing black people, but I'm talking about people by the straw market selling shirts with Heyman on it, the Rasta man, because people think we speak Jamaican, and I'm quite offended. Yeah, I would be. Yeah, and Mr. Wilson is saying that it's concerning.
I totally agree with that. It's really an identity
crisis.
It really is.
And it's lazy, right? We're using a sort of a sentiment of the typical tourist. And all these Caribbean countries are the same.
But it comes down to the Bahamian lack of travel, because if they go anywhere else in the Caribbean, you will not hear a Bahamian song, and you will never hear anybody trying to use a Bahamian
slang.
vernacular.
Yeah, and vernacular.
It won't happen.
Right. And it's not, you're not dissing other Caribbean countries. They expect that. They expect you to focus on you in your own country. And as a regionalist, as a Caribbean woman saying that. Another text goes on to say also, how could we make Bahamian culture popular to like hip hop? And how could we infuse our culture in a clothing line to market worldwide like hip hop? Because we are chameleons. We take every culture and we pay little to no attention to our own.
So, but why hip hop? Have you ever heard the Jamaicans try to
I can tell you,
infuse into hip hop or rap?
Right, but they
maintain their own.
But I can give them a different one. Arlington, you get that Lazarus from last week? If it's still in the playlist, I can bring it in from a different perspective. I'm not going to say why hip hop. I'm going to say, why do you think we need to adapt? Like, why do you think we need to borrow hip hop? We start hip hop. Hip hop come from us. That's what we can play the song now by the Region Bells from last week, where the texters say, please play the rapping part. We've been rapping. I want you to change your perspective, texter. We're not going to be a chameleon and make Bahamian music as popular as hip hop. Hip hop come from Bahamian music. That's all.
But why the outside have to be a yardstick for our own identity?
Exactly, and this is what I'm saying. Don't think of it as an outside. Remember that it's the Region Bells who started rapping. Blind Blake was rapping on Jones O' Jones long before hip hop was a thing. So change your perspective. When you realize that hip hop was birthed from you, you wouldn't be trying to make yourself as popular as it, right? You wouldn't come at it from that perspective. You would realize that your job is to grow your art form beyond, right? And then you will realize that it is already popular.
Yeah, but why we want the outside? We always want to be with the outside. Why the outside can't be
With
following us?
Right.
We could establish our own identity.
And let them follow us.
Exactly.
And case in point, at the first carnival, Marshall Montano came here and sang and performed the Golan and tell the people in the audience he loved that song. And he come here to perform that song. Right? And believe in yourself and the power of yourself.
Yeah, but that comes right back to the leaders.
Yeah.
They don't.
Right. And that's why
they accept so many things from the outside. They don't really push. They're not pushed on our own agenda, you know.
Yeah.
Or what other people like.
Yeah.
Other people gotta like what we like.
Right.
At least for a change.
And that includes the tourism industry. And imagine now if in 2021 we realize that the experience that we can give to tourists, right, is ours. Imagine my parents who were on the banana boat. And I remember my mother telling us we go by Auntie so-and-so because they go into the banana boat reunion. That type of experience, we could provide that for tourists. We don't need a DJ in the typical US DJ in a nightclub for tourists. We've already created a world-class experience.
I can give you an experience that I had in Grenada.
Mm-hmm.
I was in this tourist resort area. They sell a lot of crafts and stuff. So I decided to ask, and this lady shouted out from a distance. I had to ask for a red stripe beer, because that's what I'm familiar with. She shouted out, "This is Jamaica. You want beer? Get a Cara beer."
Mm-hmm.
I'm just giving you a point that instead of the other name, which you always see on the TV, with beer, our local product could be pushed the same way.
In fact, my tourism slogan is you could get Galik or you could get Galik, right? You get this beer, or you get knocked, you can go home.
That's the point I'm making.
Yeah.
Let somebody follow us for a change. We always want to use the outside for a yardstick.
And not just
be like them.
Remember or realize when people are already following you and see the power of your culture from that perspective. Mr. Wilson, I got 8 songs I want to play and I got 2 callers. Yeah. Oh, okay. So before I get called, I come in right now. I have to mention Gary Davis. So this is an article from May 25th, 1974. Gary Davis, lead vocalist and guitarist with Gary and the Vendors, presents, that is Lady Pinling, Mrs. L.O. Pinling, wife of the Prime Minister, with a copy of their latest recording, Rasha.
Going out to Rachel. That's the song.
Going down to Raisha.
That's it.
The record is presently on sale on leading record stores around the island. 1974. Arlington, that must mean you get play Sandra or something, just a little bit, lightly over the caller. Caller, you're on the clock.
Hi.
Good morning.
How are you?
Good, thank you. How you doing?
I'm very well, thanks. Erin,
Yes, ma'am.
congratulations go out to you and your partner for trying to resurrect our song.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, it's great. And you had a caller a little earlier who says that she was nominating you or recommending you
Yes, ma'am.
to work in culture.
Yes, ma'am.
Please, Erin, if that ever comes about, because knowing you, I mean, we're slightly different generations, right?
Yes, ma'am.
But if anybody could get this out there, it's Erin Greene.
Thank you, ma'am.
And I just trust you will accept because we have beautiful music. And you said that you were trying to connect our generation and
Yes, ma'am.
the other generation.
Yes, ma'am.
And hey, I'm a part of all those generations and enjoy all those music.
Absolutely.
So please, Erin, congratulations.
Thank
and
you.
You and your colleague continue to push.
Yes, ma'am.
You know, they're knocking down all the buildings.
Yes.
I don't know what we're going to have to show the tourists.
Or we're going to have to show our grandchildren.
But then our grandchildren may not want to identify.
Absolutely, but don't watch nothing. We can grab them.
Hey, Erin, you're
Yes, ma'am.
promoting it, eh?
Yes, ma'am.
Congratulations.
Absolutely, thank you.
Right, I'm enjoying.
Thank you. Play that lick, Arlington. You all hear that lick? Dear young people, when this catch you in your soul?
Nobody to hold me tight, nobody to treat me right. Me alone in one big bed all night. On the toss to and fro, hugging my pillow. Sandra, darling, why did you have to?
All right, just going to read a couple texts as you play that in the background. Now, Arlington, this first text say, play Go Down to Raisha, please. It say, please, please, please. And I don't mind them changing my playlist for that one. And another text here that says, Erin, I just tuned in and heard some information on Sweet Tea that sounded incorrect. I'm sure his father, Sweet Richard, was actually Richard Dean. Well, listen, while I was reading that text, Mr. Wilson was shaking his head no. Right, and I think this text is more correct. Right. Mr. Wilson does have that in his archives. Okay, so to the first texter, no, I don't think Sweet Tea is Tony Seymour Jr.'s son. And this text is saying that Sweet Tea's father, Sweet Richard, was actually Richard Dean. So I have this rule. Dear Bahamian women and men, you can no longer name your sons Sweet Michael and Sweet Richie and none of that because then they learn how to sing and take advantage of us women's hearts. Don't do it to us no more. I got another text here that says, Erin, have you ever seen Ezra Hepburn? I think he would get the best dressed entertainer of his day. Tight bell bottom pants and fitted long sleeve shirt unbuttoned down to his navel. Them European guests would treat him like a rock star. Listen, in the 70s, the man used to wear clothes my Grammy wouldn't let me wear off the side porch. But that was the times, right? And I could imagine. I hear the stories, older Bahamians, about how you couldn't leave your house unless you was fresh and pressed. And you couldn't go to the dance unless you knew the dance moves. I hear y'all stories. And another text here, just as we close now the show, the young man who do the news on Saturday. Okay, so Seymour still has sons in the entertainment industry. Another text quickly, plenty people on Bay Street, but Straw Market closed. Because we need a different building. We need a different shape. You need a different structure and a different experience. And trust me, I think the different experience forced by the different building and structure is what we need. Ah, boy, Arlington, okay. I'm so sorry, callers. We are out of time. I am out of time. I apologize. Last text Gary Davis and the Vendors, Funk Machine was a #1 hit in the U.S. in 1974. Thank you, Texter. Arlington, let's play that last song. I say play Peanuts Taylor. Even though Therese, I got Therese on the list, she has passed. She's a powerhouse. She ain't necessarily in that first induction, but we got to call her name. But if you've never heard this excerpt from Peanuts Taylor on the show, I've Got a Secret, where he's playing the Congo drums and plays the melody of a song with the drums. Here you go. You've been listening to On the Clock with Erin Greene on Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. National Heroes Day is this Monday, so I won't see you till Tuesday unless you catch me shaking a knee somewhere safely social distanced. Anyway, have a great weekend. Love yourself. Love each other. It's National Heroes Day coming up. Stay tuned.